welcome into the Lakers Report. Fired up to be with you, and a lot to get to on today's edition of the Lakers Report. So buckle up, dial it in, and let me just tell you, right away, we got to address one of the wildest trade ideas I've ever heard from Stephen A. Smith. You're never going to believe this guarantee that Stephen A. Smith doing Stephen A. Smith things. But first, how about a little love on the Twitter? Because I'm feeling generous. And look, if the Lakers do make a trade, I've got it covered on Twitter, so make sure you drop a follow. And I'm feeling generous. The next 20 people that follow on Twitter, I'm following right back. All aboard the follow train on X, on Twitter, whatever the kids are calling it these days. But I'm happy to follow back and take the conversation about the Lakers from the YouTube to the Twitter. So the next 20 people that follow me on Twitter, at Jake_Rietma, I'm following you right back. Now, this crazy, wild guarantee that Stephen A. Smith made on ESPN's First Take, almost just picture the mind-blown emoji. That's what I was feeling when I heard him say this preposterous guarantee. Take a look at this. It was on First Take, and Stephen A. said this: I'm going to make a proposal to LeBron James to virtually guarantee him a trip to the NBA Finals, if not a championship. Get traded to the New York Knicks. Come on, Stephen A. Smith. It ain't happening, so quit asking. This is ridiculous. It's preposterous. It's Stephen A. being Stephen A. It ain't happening. Find any other adjective that you want to use, but it is in just completely not going to happen. So sorry, Stephen A. Smith. You will not get your wish. Your Knicks will have to figure out a way to get it done without LeBron James on their team, because we know that Rich Paul came out and said that all of the trade rumors, we are squashing them. LeBron's agent made it very, very clear that James will not be traded. And you know what? If we want to take his words exactly and quote it, LeBron won't be traded, and we aren't asking. So again, cue the Nick Saban quit asking gift, because it ain't happening, all right? So LeBron staying with the purple and gold. Sorry, Stephen A. Smith. Sorry to the rest of the NBA, but LeBron is a Laker. I think you can pretty much guarantee it, but hey, I'll ask you anyways. Go ahead and put your prediction hat on. Will LeBron finish the season as a member of the Los Angeles Lakers? Go ahead and type Y for yes or N for no. Let me know down in the comments, because Stephen A. Smith just felt like presenting some preposterous trade idea that's not going to happen. So predict it. Let me know down in the comments. Type Y for yes or N for no. Now, coming up, we're going to actually talk about some realistic trade options and some potential moves for the Lakers to make ahead of the upcoming trade deadline that is set for Thursday. And you know what? It's happening fast, and it's coming sooner and sooner. It's less than a week away. But first, how about a huge shout out to today's presenting sponsor, PrizePicks.com/CLNS is where you got to go for Prize Picks, because I'm telling you, it's far and away the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. You simply pick more or less on a player's projected stat, and it adds a little sizzle to the game. So if you're like me and you're not too excited about the teams that are in the big game on a Super Bowl Sunday, well, let's play some Prize Picks to make it that much more interesting. Here's some picks that will bring home the bacon. Patrick Mahomes is the special. That's another great thing about Prize Picks. They're always working in the deals, working in the demons, the goblins, making it easier to win, harder to win, giving you a lot of flexibility, whatever it may be. But more on Patrick Mahomes' passing total of 0.5 yards. That one's obviously a lock and a special there. Isaiah Pacheco, he's been getting into the end zone with great regularity, so why not pick more on his projected touchdown total of 0.5? And Brock Purdy, more on his passing yards total. He torched the Lions, especially in the second half, and I think in order for the 49ers to have a chance at winning, he's going to have to go more than 248.5 yards passing. So that's how it works. And hey, you know I do it all the time with the Lakers and with the hoops as well. On the NBA side of things, that Prize Picks has the most expansive library of pick options. So go to prizepicks.com/CLNS And you can join me with my picks. You can fade me. Either way, you're going to have a ton of fun. PrizePicks.com/CLNS for up to a $100 deposit match. And if you tuned me out, then don't worry. We put the link in the comments and description of today's video. So head on over, take a click on that, PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Now, time is definitely running out for the Lakers to make a move, and we've said time and time again that this roster could use a boost. And given where the Lakers are, right, just hovering around that 500 mark, haven't really been able to put any kind of substantial wins together and really carry them into the portion of the season that would make you believe in this Lakers team and making a run. So why not add to the roster? And some names to watch, despite it being relatively quiet so far at the trade deadline, starting with Dejounte Murray. We've said time and time again, Dejounte Murray is who the Lakers need to target. He's the biggest name on the trading block and the most appealing at the point guard position, which the Lakers could stand to improve. Now, that said, D'Angelo Russell has played a lot better as of late. But what does Shams Charania say of The Athletic? Many of the biggest moves have already happened. Atlanta's Dejounte Murray, Chicago's Zach LaVine are the top two names remaining. And while there was a lot of buzz with Zach LaVine in earlier portion of the year, in early January, and even at the end of 2023, that buzz has really, really quieted. So I don't anticipate the Lakers to make a move for Zach LaVine. But again, Dejounte Murray really high on the list and makes a lot of sense for the Los Angeles Lakers. So I ask you, name a player the Lakers should trade for. Who do you like for the Lakers to add to their roster in hopes of making a run to get to the playoffs? Because if you make the playoffs, everything changes, and you just got to get there, and then everybody has the exact same slate. So Dejounte Murray, the second name to keep an eye on, Zach LaVine. And again, I don't necessarily anticipate the Lakers making any kind of move for Zach LaVine, although when you look at his body of work and his production, statistically speaking, he's certainly a prolific scorer, but he's battled some injuries this season, and we know about the off-the-court stuff as well. Hasn't exactly been the beam of fresh air in Chicago, and not necessarily everyone's favorite teammate, but again, the statistical production makes him an appealing option. Now, improving the guard play for the Lakers has to be of the utmost priority, and that's where Bruce Brown comes in. Might be a little bit more of a budget-friendly deal, a little bit more of a bargain for the Los Angeles Lakers instead of a big name like Dejounte Murray. Not that Bruce Brown isn't a big name, but here's what Kevin O'Connor had to say about Bruce Brown. It's been reported that the Lakers have interest in Raptors wing Bruce Brown, whom they pursued in free agency last summer. My understanding recently is that the interest in Brown is muted due to high demands from Toronto. So there you have it. I think the Lakers, if they're going to go all in on a big deal that's going to cause the Los Angeles Lakers to give up a lot in return, it's not going to be for Bruce Brown. And the Raptors, in full sell mode, are obviously asking quite a bit for Bruce Brown. Now, when the Lakers do make a trade, or if they do make the trade, either way, we're going to be live for the NBA trade deadline, so don't miss out. Set your notifications up so you don't miss our live coverage, and subscribe to the channel so you know anytime we go live. You don't want to miss any of our coverage. Wall-to-wall coverage covering the purple and gold from every single angle. Now, let's get back to the names to watch for the Los Angeles Lakers, starting with Malcolm Brogdon. Now, again, here's not exactly the sexy pick or the trade that's going to make airwaves throughout the NBA circles, but maybe adding a guy like Malcolm Brogdon could boost the Lakers and get them over the hump a little bit. You look at his production over the past 4 seasons, and yeah, his scoring's dipped down a little bit since early in 2020 and 2021 into 2022, but he's still a guy that could help this Los Angeles Lakers team at a fraction of the price in comparison to somebody like Dejounte Murray. And how exactly he gel with the Lakers? Well, what have we said time and time again? Darvin Ham and the rest of the Lakers coaching staff still trying to find the perfect combination. So perhaps adding somebody like Malcolm Brogdon could be a missing piece to help space the floor and help improve the guard play, although you got to give credit to D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves for that matter, both of them playing much better as of late. Now, last but certainly not least, this got floated out a little bit ago and dating back to the early portion of January where the Pistons were more actively shopping Bojan Bogdanović. And say what you will, but the Pistons obviously should be complete sellers at the deadline. I mean, that franchise is in the complete basement of the NBA. And Bojan Bogdanović is a guy that can fill it up. He's a guy that can score from anywhere on the floor, averages better than 20 a game, which is very impressive, and shoots it with great efficiency from the three-point line, better than 40%. And so, yes, the Lakers have talked about improving guard play, but if you add another wing scorer to the combination they have right now, more of a spot-up shooter like Bogdanović is, then that helps space the floor and helps keep everybody alive and well in floor spacing. And again, who doesn't love a guy that's shooting better than 40% from three? However, I don't anticipate the Lakers making a move for Bojan Bogdanović, but definitely somebody to keep your eye on to see if the Pistons do, in fact, make a move and deal him at the deadline. Because he could help somebody that's in more of a playoff race than, obviously, the worst team in the NBA. But give you my top three: Dejounte Murray, Bruce Brown, or Malcolm Brogdon. Those are the three that I think would make a meaningful impact. And Murray, I think, stands alone in a class of his own as far as the value add he would be for the Los Angeles Lakers, with Brown and Brogdon being a little bit lower on that scale for me. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, feeling really generous. I love taking the Lakers conversation from the YouTube to Twitter. So follow me on Twitter for all the latest Lakers news, information, highlights, trades, and everything else surrounding the purple and gold, and I'll be sure to follow back. And a huge shout-out to Jack Lauderay, producing today's show. Couldn't do it without him. Thanks so much for tuning in to this edition of the Lakers Report. And as always, we'll see you next time on the Lakers Report.